What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR, and I got another game review for you. And this time I will be sharing you my thoughts on Metro Last Light. Now, in terms of story, Metro Last Light is a post-apocalyptic, setting story which takes place, I believe, somewhere in Moscow, Russia. And apparently this is a sequel to another game, but I haven't had a chance to play that game, and I don't really think I need to. Simply put, nuclear wars happen, and the entire surface world has become completely radiated with radiation, which has now forced the small remainders of mankind to have to live into the substation level of this particular city. And apparently there are three main human factions which are divided between, I believe, the Rangers, the Red Army, and the Nazis. I believe in this particular part they don't really go into depth as for exactly what other parties it could be around the world. But anyway, you play as a character by the name of Artio, I believe, and he's part of the Ranger faction, and he's sent on a mission to head to the surface world and capture this little being called the Dark One. The Dark One apparently are these little creatures that have telepathic powers, and he and his other Ranger friends believe that, it was through some type of prophecy, that this Dark One is the key to uniting the last remnants of human race and ending the war. However, as most games often go like this, things don't exactly go to plan, and you basically have to fight yourself through hordes and hordes of enemies, mutant creatures, and survive the desolate plain, which is the surface world. Now, I have to tell you guys right now, Metro Last Light, sorry, is a really fantastic game, very visually done, with absolutely breathtaking, I'd say, surface world land designs. Now, there's really two main, I like to say, vibes that this game kind of gives you through its gameplay. It serves strictly as a first-person shooter game, but with definitely some survival elements. But let me get into that. I think you'll spend a good amount of time within the metro and the surface world. When you're down in the metro, most of the areas and the cities that you will travel through, you don't really do much combat. They're mostly used for exploration, so this will give you a chance to really see how the inhabitants have been living, how hard their lives are, and there's some very emotional scenes of seeing exactly what sicknesses happen. There's a certain terrorist attack that's done on this innocent population, and just to see these people have to culminate with the realization that they're going to die. And just to point one out, there was this very, very sad moment where you're walking by this plastic exterior, and this father is talking to his daughter, and he knows that they're both going to die, and she's saying, where's Mama? Where's Mama? And he says, well, you're going to see Mama real soon. You'll see her in a little bit. And the game's full of those moments, so it really hits you real hard on the heartstrings. Now, when you get to the surface, that is where stuff really gets crazy, because this is where the survival elements really are mostly applied. The fact that there is so much radiation on the surface world, you have to wear a gas mask or an oxygen mask, and you actually have to conserve your own oxygen. So after, you actually have a timer on your watch that lets you know exactly how much air you have. So you'll have to loot bodies, open crates, open chests, and basically kind of collect these air filters in order to keep yourself alive. Now, while you're doing that, you will have to deal with lots of mutated creatures, and I'm not exactly sure what these creatures mutated from, but let's call this the Jurassic Park ride from hell, just to name a few. I really like the creature designs, and when you go later on into the game, you actually get, for a couple of times, the ability to actually see exactly where these creatures are going to attack you from. And there are certain parts where you simply just have to run and get the heck out of there, because no matter how much you try to take on these enemies, this is their environment. This is where they know the environment better than you are, and you are just an unwelcome guest. If there's any real flaws I could say that the game has, is that there's not really a large variety of weapon customizations as far as I was aware. You're not allowed to customize your own weapons. The weapons I did have, I simply was just getting off of dead soldiers, and they already come with certain parts, and there's only certain amounts of ammo you're allowed to carry with each weapon. And I believe your money is actually your bullets. So if you actually fire all your bullets, you're completely out of money. So I thought that was kind of a weird thing to add to this particular game. And another thing I didn't really like was, I didn't really like how the story overall ended. I mean, I did think the last scene was kind of cool and badass, but it was just, throughout the whole story, it's kind of leading you to a certain realization, and then all of a sudden when you get there, it's kind of a waste of time. It's like, okay, we spent the whole game finding this thing so that he could do some little thing, which is then going to have a big outcome on the overall story. And I just think the build-up really was not handled very well. But other than that, this is an absolutely great game. It certainly stands apart from other first-person shooter games because it certainly has that survival element very well implied, which is why I'm more than happy to give Metro Last Light an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely go check this out if you want a unique experience. Just don't expect too much with the overall story. You might, and if you do, you might find yourself a little bit disappointed as I was. If you like this game review, please like, comment down below, and please subscribe to track for me my future game reviews. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.